Streaming starts, huh? Boom, 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 boom. Ba 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 boom 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 boom. And we're is it? Am I connected? Am I going live? I'm seeing a black screen. Oh yeah, and we're off. It is Monday, January 15th, 2024 AD, and it's 9:04 a.m. Complicated business, folks. Complicated business here in Los Angeles, U.S. Pacific Standard Time. And I have a co-host with me today, Bigg Bump. How you doing, Bigg Bump? Is his mic open?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. How you doing? Thank you, sir. For
doing well. Doing well.
The invite again.
Of course. What are we going to be talking about today? I have some notes, too, from you, actually.
Okay. The one thing that the Shohei Ohtani contract with the tax issue that's going on, or something.
The guy who is nicknamed, one of the guys nicknamed Shotime.
Shotime, yeah.
That highest paid Japanese guy.
Yeah.
So a drama with his contract?
Not with the contract, but with the state of California.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some commies around here.
They want their meddling, micromanaging fingers in his business. What a mess.
Mama all in the business.
True.
Yeah. I guess maybe the Army's decline in white recruits.
Yeah. I saw that and I haven't covered it, so I'm glad that you brought that here.
Okay. Also, I came across, and I guess it's supposed to be like a flashback from 2022 with the mob tie, one of the mobsters from named Sammy the Bull, and him trying to entice or get President Trump's work. To meddle in some of his work. So
yeah, because everybody says, "Oh, you have to be involved in the mob if you're going to do business in New York."
Yeah,
and so they just assume that he was involved in it.
Right.
But somebody begs to differ.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That, and also I came across something again, the Instagram with special needs type things, where a mother and a family, where they have a son that has autism and they have a couple other special needs kids, but the son is being treated a little different than the rest of the kids. So in the family, it seems like it's just a mess.
Like preferential treatment type of a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not in a positive way.
Yeah.
It's not positive anyway, but it doesn't benefit the son.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that often happens with things like that, where they treat you and they hamstring your growth. Mm-hmm. And okay, interesting. I'm liking it. There was one other that you sent to me, Huntington Beach.
Oh.
I don't know if.
Yeah, that's the main. That's almost the main one because of today, that they're getting rid of all these special holidays, or special months.
Yeah.
Like the one specifically next month with the Black History Month.
Yep.
Or Asian History Month or Mexican or whatever. They're getting rid of those and promoting different other aspects of the country of America.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
And even then, they're divided as they're doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's not a unanimous thing.
Yeah.
So they're holding on. Hold on tight. Keep the faith, chin up, kings. Huntington Beach, California. That's in Orange County. So all that, and by the way, this is Bigg Bump. He is BiggBump on YouTube and BIGG_BUMP on X, formerly known as Twitter, and IG as well.
Yes.
And other platforms, Gab, Truth Social.
Yes.
Even Rumble. He's made a Rumble account.
Yeah.
BIGGBUMP.
Have to get on it, but yeah.
Right.
In due time.
So anyway, guys, all that and your calls, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. How are you doing, Bigg Bump?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
You had a MAGA hat on. No
Yeah.
more LA Dodgers
Not
today.
today.
Not today.
Yeah, not
Not no
today.
more. Just not today.
Just not today. That's
Right
all.
on.
Yeah.
And I have my Forest Home t-shirt. It's a Christian family camp from back in the day. Probably liberal too, just like the Salvation Army that
Oh,
you were
man.
talking about
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah. A mess.
Terrible. We do have calls to get to, but I want to dive right in with this Huntington Beach story, Bigg Bump. Huntington Beach, this is a Los Angeles Times headline. Huntington Beach is to add new monthly celebrations and remove others like Black History Month. What's going on with that?
Well,
That's exciting.
Yeah, it really is exciting. And they're, okay, let me say this. Although, like you just mentioned, that it's divided, it's not unanimous at all.
Right.
It's too close for comfort.
The city council voted
4-3.
okay.
Yeah, 4-3 to approve a 12-month calendar that would dedicate to a specific theme, which is outside of Black History Month or Pride Month or Asian Month or anything like that. That's
Nice.
going on everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I seen that, and that came out before the end of the year. So you know how they get ready for the new year of laws or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I guess you could say that. And that's a relatively conservative area in that
Right.
Huntington Beach, OC area. So it's not surprising, but it's still too close for comfort as far as that 4-3 vote, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also some of the options or propositions that were given for the month, like January, they wanted to theme it after Founder's Legacy for the city of Huntington Beach. February, get rid of the Black History Month, the
Good.
Revolutionary and Civil War.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So each month is relatively is related pretty much to American history.
That's cool.
Themes. Yeah. So, that's a light of hope.
Yeah.
That may spread. So.
That would be really nice. I have screenshots of the headline, or a screenshot of the headline. And it says, this was reported in December from Matt Szabo in the Daily Pilot inside of Los Angeles Times. And they're getting rid of they'll be focusing in June on the history of Independence Day, but the city will not be recognizing LGBTQ plus Pride Month. That's nice.
That is nice. Get rid of that demonic worshiping, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the February's city theme will be "We Love Our Libraries." Okay. I've been to Huntington Beach Library. It's pretty nice.
Have you? I've
Yeah.
never gone. I don't think I have, but yeah. I
Not
can
to be
imagine.
confused with the Huntington Library, up in
San Gabriel,
Pasadena area.
Right, San Gabriel Valley area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will make no mention, the city will make no mention of Black History Month. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Good for them, for sure. Yeah, I think that's a positive way. Yeah, the Black History Month is a divisive tool.
So is LGBTIQ
definitely,
plus pride.
so.
That's not just divisive. That's both of those things are evil because they give them false pride and a false identity.
Yeah.
Blackness and just the worst parts of blackness.
Yeah.
And then the LGBT stuff, that's not who they are.
Right.
There's nothing to be proud of with that.
Yeah.
Who was behind this? What were you about to say?
As soon as you said who's behind this,
Yeah, it went
away.
blank.
Yeah. I think this was the mayor that introduced this, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think that Mayor Gracie Vandermark.
Is that a woman?
You know what? I didn't see the look. I want to say, I hope it is, but
I think it is.
you think so?
I think it's a female
see.
mayor. GracieForHB.com. Gracie for HB on IG. Yeah, it's a
It is?
woman.
Okay.
It's like a, she looks maybe part Hispanic or some foreigner type a little bit, maybe part white. Or maybe she's just a white woman with a nice tan.
Yeah, she may go to the beach a lot.
Right,
hang out.
Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
Vandermark. That sounds, I don't know, is that Dutch or something?
Dutch, it sounds Dutch, yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Pat Burns.
Pat Burns, right. I don't know if Pat is a guy or girl.
Right,
either.
I know. I just assumed it was a guy, but it could have been a woman.
Right.
And Councilman Casey McKeon.
Okay.
Casey McKeon speaks the most, I think, in this article. Good for him.
Yeah, McKeon, yeah.
But there's a whole bunch of people who are not for it.
Yeah, let me get to, give me a name.
Tony Strickland approved.
Strickland approved.
Yeah, but Dan Kalmick, I think I covered that guy. Dan Kalmick. Kalmick?
Have you?
I might have. I covered somebody who's on the city council. I think I covered
touch
him.
on some Huntington Beach issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie Moser and Rhonda Bolton voted no. So Dan Kalmick, liberal woman, basically. I mean, he thinks like a woman.
Right, gotcha, yeah.
And then Natalie Moser sounds like a woman. Rhonda Bolton, also a woman, not for it. And he said, McKeon guy said, over the past year, city archivist and historian Kathy Shea sent him 20 chronological photos of the history of Huntington Beach that he hanged in his council office. He called himself a third-generation Huntington Beach resident, amazed to see how much of our rich history I was unaware of.
Right.
And I think that the woman disavowed it. The Huntington Beach archivist, city archivist and historian, Kathy Shea.
Yeah.
I think that she gave him that information, but then she was not on board with this. It was what it seemed like.
Yeah. She said she would be resigning as the chair of the Historic Resources Board.
What?
Yeah. I read that part, but I just passed right by it.
Right.
That portion. She didn't. I guess she doesn't want to even be involved with it.
Yeah. So he asked for that information, and little did she know that he was going to use it for good,
Right.
and not
Yeah.
for recognizing, the history of Huntington Beach, which is relevant to Huntington Beach, California, the one place where you can show your support for MAGA and Trump.
Right.
They had to stop the Steal rally there back in 2020.
Right.
I went to that.
Did you? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah.
They had many actually.
Right.
But
you did go to one at least.
yeah, I went to one on some Saturday, and it was kind of nice to see all that.
Right. Yeah. I know all the pictures and things I see during those times. It specifically in Huntington Beach that I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of support, a lot of action.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to wear masks. Stuff stayed open.
Right.
During the China virus.
Mm-hmm.
It was an alive city for the most part.
Yeah.
So good for them, Huntington
Yeah.
Beach.
Yeah. It's a great way to start off the year with that, with getting rid of all those identity
Right.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a political identity month.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's-
people see this as political, but it's correcting the politics.
Yeah.
It's funny, like they accuse the right wingers of politicizing the vax or the virus. And no, they're like correcting the basic right of your freedoms.
Right.
That's not, I mean, you could call that political, but it's also just basic right and wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas they're the ones that get all nasty. And I guess it's just devils fighting. People get puffed up on their pride on it on either side.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It all the time.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't know that these were federally recognized celebrations. Black History Month, Women's History Month in March,
Yeah.
so-called Pride Month in June.
Yeah.
May is Asian American Pacific Islander. Oh, Asian/Pacific American Heritage Month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hispanic Heritage Month from mid-September to mid-October, which is weird.
Yeah, they push it. Even at work, I get like emails, from the director, whoever. This month is such and such month.
Wow.
Go out and celebrate, or we'll have something
How phony.
here and there. Like what?
How contrived.
I open it to read it to see exactly what they're talking about, but
Right.
sometimes I just don't because I know what they're gonna.
Yeah,
It's the same spiel all the time, and it's like pushed.
right.
Pushed. Every month
Yep.
it's being pushed. Yeah.
And it's so phony and womanly. Like it's like you know how a woman tries to make you feel better,
Yeah.
tries to make you feel special. That's what this feels like.
Right.
It's
right.
like not manly. It makes you feel like a child.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they're treating us all like children.
Yeah. You have to do this. We'll show you a little something. Just do this.
Yeah.
You did it? Oh, nice. We have another one for you.
Here's a star.
Here's a star.
That's terrible. This comic guy is against it. Somebody, Burns, said federally recognized months were already well known and being celebrated. And comic is all sour grapes at the end, just not in Huntington Beach. Well, good. I'm sure that there are going to be a bunch of people in Huntington Beach who are liberals who support that, but the city doesn't have to kiss up to your fake identity and pretend like you're special.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just like the Juneteenth things also.
Right.
You force this on you,
Yeah.
It's Juneteenth. Okay.
Right.
It's Juneteenth.
Yep.
It's June 19th.
Yeah. Shout out to Galveston, Texas.
Yeah.
You went national. That's
They made it.
ridiculous. I wonder if since this woman is behind it, if she's going overboard with it. That's just my.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because, like, that other gal whom I call a queen,
I was about
Marjorie
to say,
Greene,
I was just about to say MTG. Yeah.
I feel like she might overdo stuff and
Right.
alienate more than she has to, be more militant. Because women tend to go overboard with
Yeah.
once they're on the side of right, they're really way too much on the side.
Into it.
On the side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the women who are on the side of evil, they're way off the deep end with it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just suspicious. A little leery. I'm not too excited.
No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I see that's the case, and it could be the case with this.
Right.
Concerning Gracie Vandermark. Yeah.
And it's a 4-3. It's not like Huntington Beach is solidly conservative. It's like
Yeah.
in a generation
It's
it could be gone.
Right. That purple looking.
Yeah.
Type. Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like the last gasp of trying to hold on to what's
Yeah.
right.
Right.
The Confederate monuments
Right.
in the 1920s were like a reaction because there was a push against them, and that push eventually won because the government was on the side of evil. And the Christian conservatism, America's a Christian nation.
Right.
We started really pushing that, and then right before we got overrun with all this anti-Christian atheism stuff. So
Yeah.
this may be the last gasp
last-
for Huntington Beach. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Right.
But even in the midst of it, we can still be a light.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You the, as Jesus said, we're the light of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's appreciated at least.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. I understand. And it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's get to a call or two before we move on to the state of California money grubbing this Japanese Dodgers player. You called it, Bigg Bump. Joe from Phoenix, Arizona,
Nice.
is on the line. How you doing, Joe from Phoenix? You're live with Hake and Bigg Bump, a friend of Bond.
Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Alrighty, so last week you were discussing that fake nonsense 1 in 3 black men will end up in prison stat. And of course you were gleefully agreeing with it. Hey, that was a study from the 90s that was a projection that would be the case. And the whole point of that projection was that it was disparities in sentencing, meaning that, because it was mostly about drugs, or mostly marijuana at that time, that showing that multiple groups of people, black, Latino, whites, used and sold drugs at the same rate, but yet magically, black men were arrested and convicted at a much higher rate than the other groups. That's what that was trying to say. If you read the actual study, not that, oh, those darn blacks are just so much more criminal prone.
But they are.
But they're not.
Yes, they are.
And the stats show that. Nope.
No, they don't show that. Are you kidding me?
Oh, they do. They absolutely do. Again,
what do the stats show? What do the stats show?
Read the study. It shows that Latinos and whites and blacks use and sell drugs at similar, if not the exact same rate. It was uncannily similar. Yet somehow, magically, the black men were the ones that were prosecuted and convicted at a much higher rate.
But we're not talking about drugs. We're talking about crime. You're citing some lame study about drug use, supposed drug use, which is self-reported.
That's where that stat came from, James.
I know, but that's not a real... I don't even care about the 1 in 3 thing. You're hanging on to these side note things that people say that may or may not be accurate, or they may be imprecise. But the reality is, the reason why the focus is on black crime is because black crime is out of control. And so they
Wrong again.
Yes, it is. And so they do. And so they hyper focus on
Name
the
a source, James.
Hold on, Joe.
You can't.
Hold on, Joe.
You can't.
Hold on, Joe.
You're lying.
So they hyper focus on the broken windows policing, and blacks do the drug thing out in the open. Whites tend to do it not out in the open, and so but the violent crime attracted the police attention. The theft attracted police attention.
1.05%. Do you know the stats I've given to you?
I don't buy your stat. First of all, I don't buy your stat. And second of all, everybody knows.
FBI stat.
Second of all, everybody knows it's not an FBI stat. Everybody knows that when you go into a black community, oftentimes it's going to be crime-ridden, more dangerous. Whereas if you go into a white community, much less so. Hispanic community, yeah, it's going to be criminal and dangerous, but not as much as the black community. And so,
is that your source? Everybody knows. Is that your source?
I don't need it. I don't need to give you a source, Joe. Are you that ignorant that you don't know that?
You're making it up. So you're admitting you're making it up.
No, I'm not admitting that I'm making it up. Are you really that communist that you're going to deny something that everybody knows?
Communist. I love when you call me communist.
Because you're denying reality. Talk some sense into him, Bigg Bump.
Hey,
Bigg Bump,
Joe,
help him.
Let me ask you this. So you say that.
Go ahead, Joe.
So you think that it was what was the stat? You're just the stat man every time you call. What was the stat? 1 in 3? Is that what you were saying?
You mean facts? Yes.
Stat.
Yes.
No, stat. Statistic.
Facts.
No.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So let me tell him. Since you don't know how to communicate, Joe, I'll say Mark from Los Angeles said that 1 in 3 black men under the age of such and such
Okay.
are either in jail, on probation, or something. And Joe claims to have looked that stat up and said, oh, that's just a matter of disparities in sentencing because they're caught way more for drugs, even though everybody does drugs the same amount, according to him.
That's the
Not according to me, according to the study.
Okay, so I'll go another way of saying that when blacks are being arrested and sentenced for smoking weed, it's not because of that. Also, it's the priors. Also, they've already done these they've committed felonies and misdemeanors that warrant that they're getting away with initially. The judges, hey, we'll give you probation instead of saying we'll give you 30 days in jail.
You're making that up, Big Bump. It's not in the study.
This not in the study. You know, another journalist, Colin Flaherty, the late great Colin Flaherty, made the point that there are a lot of plea deals that happen too.
Exactly.
That they're pleading down to lesser charges when they've done worse things.
That happens.
And so they just get them on the drugs.
That happens
I'll say it
all
again.
the time.
Give me a source. Where are you getting your information from?
We don't need to give you a source. You can look it up for yourself. Don't be lazy.
Are you saying
So you're
that
making it
doesn't
up.
Are
happen?
you pretending?
making
Is
it
he
up.
really pretending this?
You're saying that doesn't
So
happen?
you're making it up. You're making it up.
Now you're making up that we're making it up.
Okay.
So you're the liar here, Joe.
Joe,
Sure.
Do they-
Sure.
are plea deals given? Is that a thing?
How
or
much?
does that not exist?
How much are
It's a
you
yes or
claiming
no
that happened, Big
answer.
Bump? No.
Do
I don't
plea
think I want to
deals-
answer.
No, I asked
How
you.
much is that?
Joe,
doing?
I asked
how
you.
much? How much is that?
Joe,
happening, Big
deals
Bump?
exist.
Joe, answer his question.
No, answer mine. How much
No,
is that
asked
happening?
you, do plea deals exist? And then you came with
I heard what
something
you're
else.
asking. I'll answer it the way
But
I want
I-
to answer, not the way
but
you
I asked-
That's not an
you
answer.
lead the conversation.
That you're being a slippery snake. Joe doesn't want to
I'm
answer the
being
question.
factual.
Joe, I said, do plea deals
Big
exist?
Bump, I heard what
and
you
then
said.
came off with
and
some
you're not doing the old
random
Jesse
answer.
tactics and doing the
But you're not even answering yes or
I'm not
no,
gonna
though.
fall for it.
That's
I'm not
not
gonna
yes
fall
or
for it.
no. But you're,
He's not gonna fall
and
for
I'm
the
not going to
truth.
fall for it either. I just asked you a question you didn't answer, so it doesn't really matter.
All right.
Sure it does. All right. Second tactic here. I want you to go to have Sean or whoever's on the computer go to the American Action Forum.
What? Now you're
and
trying to
look at-
direct the show?
And look at the deregulation under Obama and Trump. And because you said that I was making things up in my imagination about Obama cutting deregulations.
Cutting
Annual savings.
cutting deregulations or cutting
I'm
regulations?
sorry.
Great segue.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Cutting government regulations under Obama. 6.4 billion with a B per year. Under Trump, a whole lot less. Go look it up.
What's the number?
American Action Forum.
Okay, so he's plugging some propaganda thing, pretending that that Obama
Propaganda.
deregulated when we know that Obama was regulating and adding new regulations, and Trump cut a lot of
6.4
regulations. I don't know about what you're saying. But under what was that guy's name? The owner of Blackwater, the guy who founded Blackwater.
Prince?
Yeah, Eric
Prince,
Prince.
yeah.
ERIK. He was on the Sean some show several months ago. It went pretty viral. And he said that under Obama it was like 80 pages of regulations every month or something like that, of new regulations under bureaucracy.
It lists the actual deregulation.
Obamacare itself was a crazy amount of new regulations and all that stuff. So Joe and Phoenix,
funny
you're
how
not
funny.
being honest. Typical.
It's funny how I give sources and you guys just make stuff up. That's amazing.
I gave you a source. I just said Eric Prince, and I also said Colin Flaherty. And you're falsely accusing us of making stuff up because we don't have to look. We don't have to give you a source to tell you that black crime is out of control.
1.05%, James, and that's just a fact. Sorry.
No,
And
it's,
you can-
that's first of all, that's what he figures based on FBI numbers, and it's not really it's not anything that anybody cites.
Right.
So it's just something that he thinks
It's
that
just
he thinks he's so
reality.
smart that he's come up with himself. That means that
so
more
smart.
out of
It's
100
simple
blacks.
Basic math.
That means out of
Simple
100
basic
blacks, more than one is going to be a criminal. That's a lot. But anyway,
Well,
Joe.
according to that study, Yeah. So, Big Bump, you're wearing a MAGA hat. Can you name one policy, not a slogan, but actual policy of Trump that had a positive effect on the country? One policy.
The deregulations.
132 million. That's it. Compared to 6.4 billion under Obama.
100. Well, those must have been meaningful deregulations because under Trump, the economy really surged.
You know the economy has nothing to do with the presidency, Obama or Trump. It has to do with the Fed.
I don't know. Deregulation might have helped a lot.
It lists the deregulations. Trump had 3 main ones. That's it. And you can go look, American Action Forum, and it's by the CEO.
But you're just using statistics to push a deception. Because statistics don't tell you the whole truth. So you can give me some billion number from Obama and some million number from Trump. That's nothing. That's not meaningful.
The Big Bump. Try again, because that didn't hold water.
Yes, it did hold water.
That's what it was. That's one. You asked me. I told you one. You're just giving me numbers, just like you say that James or I are just saying things. So I'll take it the same way.
Bump, do you know what the Federal Reserve does?
Yeah, in a sense, I do.
What is it?
It just creates money. Interest rates just creates money out of thin air. That's the basis of it. That's the basis of the Federal Reserve.
Not the Federal Reserve. That's the Treasury Department who prints money. Try again.
Then what is the Federal Reserve? It doesn't.
Their main tool is the overnight federal funds rate. That's what is the gas pedal or the brake on our economy. And they spend an insane amount of money, between $40 to $60 billion per month for 6 years leading up to Trump's presidency.
Okay, but I don't care about the Fed. I wish the Federal Reserve would go somewhere. In the Federal Reserve.
But you know nothing about it.
In the Federal Reserve.
How do you know he knows nothing about it?
In the Fed.
And I just asked him, and he can't say anything about it.
I know it's not. It doesn't. I know it doesn't represent America, and I know that it doesn't help America at all. It's a central bank.
Regardless,
it's a central bank.
What's in charge of
that's not
our
capitalism,
economy.
and it needs to it needs to be abolished. I know that much.
That's an interesting take, but again, as it stands right now, they are the ones who run our economy, good or bad. It's not Obama, it's not Trump.
But it's not.
So try again.
Is it
Name
government?
one policy.
They don't run our economy.
They 100% do.
No, they do not.
They don't.
I'm not in debt, so they don't run me.
Nothing to do with the debt again. My God, you guys are ignorant.
Economy means money. My economy is how I handle my money. They do not run me.
The overnight federal funds rate affects mortgages, credit cards, student debt, any amount of debt that you may have. It affects gas prices. It affects grocery store prices. Everything in your life, everything in my life, everything in every American's life is run by the Federal Reserve. Pull your head out of the sand.
Does it need to be abolished?
Again, it's an interesting take.
They run the entire economy.
I don't know how you would replace it and with what. I mean, there's tons of questions there. I will say this. It is overrun by Goldman Sachs former employees, and that's a huge problem.
Yeah. It's just bankers. It's nothing related to the government of the United States.
Well, it's a government-sponsored entity, so this means it has vast,
it's
very
a private
broad,
corporation.
very vast
No,
powers.
it's private. It's
very
again, like the
brass.
slogan says, there's no federal than Federal Express, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
They have very, very broad powers and very little oversight.
That can be abolished, and the like you say, the bankers are on board, and the banks do a lot of running and dictating things.
Okay, so I'll try one more time. Give me one actual policy, because the regulation cutting did not happen.
How are you going back? We're going.
Yeah, we're done,
We
Joe
already
in
dealt with
Phoenix,
that.
Arizona. Nice call.
Nice to talk to you, Joe.
Oh, you're running. Okay. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
We've been
Running.
here all day
Spent
with Joe.
14 minutes with him. So demanding. Nobody likes this caller. This caller even hates himself, says Lin Yenshin. Whoa. CJ in Texas is on the line. CJ, what's up, man?
Not much. I wanted to ask Joe about his study.
Which study what did you want to ask him about?
The one that he keeps citing. The study.
The one that he
Whatever it
says
is.
1.05%, less than 1.05% of blacks commit violent crimes?
That and no, not that one. The one that whites and blacks use and sell drugs at the same rate.
Oh yeah, I don't buy that one either. I've heard
Well,
that.
how do you know that if the whites aren't getting arrested as much?
Right. I think that it's just a matter of self-reporting.
Oh, So that's like an
I'm guessing.
epidemiological
I think
study.
that's what it was. Say that again?
Right. You mean where they just survey people like, hey, what did you eat last year?
Right.
Right. So that's called an epidemiological study. Right. And those are not used to draw conclusions of cause and effect or actual states of things. Right. Self-selecting. Epidemiological studies are usually just used scientifically in order to generate a hypothesis to which you would then do a real study, right? So then what you would do is you would secretly, randomly select people, spy on them through their whole lives, and then see how much crime they commit. Which is why it's really hard to do studies on human beings, right? It's really just not ethical to do them.
Right.
So you don't rely on studies. What you do rely on is just outcomes at that point. And the outcomes are blacks are 10 to 13 times more criminal than white people, and his 1.5% violent crime. Who cares about the violent crime? Let's just focus on the crime. How did you get to 10, 13 times? How did you get to over 1,000% more criminal? Oh, well, forget about the violent stuff. Let's just go straight to the criminal. If you're willing to break laws, then you're willing to break laws. That naturally would assume that you're willing to break violent laws too. And you're willing to be more violent to get out of nonviolent stuff when the cops are, chasing you over selling weed, and you're already on felony probation. Might have been about selling weed, right? But you're going to knock people down, commit probably 10 batteries, running down a sidewalk, trying to escape, commit maybe another felony if you're trying to escape in a vehicle. And then even when they plead down to a misdemeanor charge, it's to get 3 felonies dismissed, right? Just to get they plead to the nonviolent stuff to get the violent stuff that's going to send them away for 20 years. So they'll plead to something that gives them 5 years probation, right? And there's just no way to cut that you do over 10%, 10 times, not 10%, 10% alone is insane statistically, but you're over 1,000% more criminal than this other group. They're even way crazier, more criminal than any other group, Latinos, Asians.
Yeah.
Anyway, to think that a group that's 10 times more criminal than any other group suddenly is exactly the same when it comes to this type of crime, which is violent crime.
Oh, 10 times is 1,000%. Duh.
Yeah.
Interesting, man. That's clarity.
Anyway.
Wow.
Hey, I'd like to call you back sometime and talk about, remember that guy you had on from Modern Day Debate? I would like to talk to you more about the inanity of trying to demand scientific proof for God someday.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes. The guy who, Kaz, Atheist Edge. He was on my show.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds great, man. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'd just like to go into I'd just like to go into the actual physics and science behind what I was saying when I was talking with him.
Yeah. I like it. Sounds good, CJ in
All right.
Texas. Good to hear
Peace
from
out.
you. You too. Nice.
That point I was trying to make with the priors and what happened during the specific crime or whatever. That was the point I was trying to make. What CJ just made. That you can't overlook that stuff and pretend
Right.
like it's not there. Like it's there. That's what happens. That plea that shows that there's that statistic is higher than
Right.
just that alone.
Yeah.
You know, but okay.
Their whole way of being is very different.
Right.
I'll never forget this. I read a letter from a public defender. It was put up by Jared Taylor of Amren on American Renaissance.
Oh, right.
On
Okay,
Amren.com. Letter from a public defender or something like that. And he talked about how they do not see, if you're not kin, they don't care about you. They don't mind hurting you.
Right. Yeah.
They will show up to court. If they show up, they will show up all dressed inappropriately,
Yeah.
have a weird attitude, bad attitude. And there's just, he listed off all these different things. And he used to be a liberal, or he was maybe a liberal still. But it's just totally different how that culture has just devolved.
Right.
And then you have people like him, like Joe from Phoenix, distracting from it,
Yeah.
obscuring the reality of it.
I'll say, as much as I'm disconnected from the hood or the
Right.
streets, I still know what's going on. I still talk to certain individuals that are involved in that. I have a family
Yeah.
member, young guy. He, I think he may has seen. He should be 24 right now. He may has seen about since he's became an adult, maybe about a month of freedom as an adult.
Wow. Oh my gosh. How old is he?
He should be. He'll be 24 this year. If I'm
Wow.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that's just one example.
Yep.
He's only seen maybe a month. The last time I saw him, I think that was the time he was free
Yeah.
as an adult.
Right.
And it just it happened. That's what it is.
Yep.
Right back in.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. I know these people.
Yeah.
I see it. I see what goes on.
Over the years working here, I've seen and talked with and heard from guys who were in that life, who did time, and they thought that they steal a phone. They thought they deserved it.
Right.
They thought it was owed them.
Right. That it was theirs. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're fed this stuff.
Yeah.
Fed this live racism.
Right.
They're already just out of control because they're raised badly by the single mothers.
Right.
And so it's like messed up families, the lie of racism and the covering up of the crime by people like Joe in the mainstream media.
Right.
It's just, and this catering to, you're victims. Oh, you need reparations. Oh, Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Oh, civil rights. Give me a break.
Yeah. and that's a point they.
Of course, they're
also
going
heard him
to end
say.
up with that messed up mindset.
Yeah.
Detached from reality.
They see it as, and I hear it all the time. If something like you just said, it's still a phone. Oh, that's owed to me.
Right.
They really believe that's if they don't get their reparations, they'll take their reparations somehow, some way or another. They look at it in that sense.
Yeah.
They really do, and there's no joke about that.
And little do they know that if they get those so-called reparations, they're still going to be stealing
Nothing's
and
gonna change.
begging
Yeah,
and wanting
nothing's
more.
Gonna change.
That
Nothing at all.
monster, that greedy monster, is never going to stop.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
The other thing was how you were just saying. You could see another example of the guy in Vegas that jumped towards the.
Oh yeah,
the judge.
jumped over the
jumped over
bench,
the bench, yeah,
or the desk or whatever, and
Yeah.
attacked the judge because
Right.
she didn't want to give
He
him.
comes in, I'm a better person. 5 seconds later,
The mask comes off. One demon attacking another,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah. What?
I did not cover that story, but that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
That when that black guy attacked the female judge. Because I thought the same thing as Jesse thought about women judges anyway.
Yeah.
And how these women have these attitudes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that just brings the
agree, yeah,
worst
right.
out of a young man who already hates women because he's probably raised by his woman
Yeah,
mother,
yeah.
single mother.
Yeah. Yeah,
Man.
I know she was probably through the whole thing. She was being nasty about it. Probably so. I get it, but
Right.
hey, that's just like you being called out your name, and then you want to kill the person because they called you out your name.
Right.
You know, it was just words.
Yep.
And now you've shown what you really do.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what.
Yeah.
That's how you react. That's you know, what you do when those things appear to you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
It is wild.
Just to finish up this this conversation that because Joe from Phoenix derailed our conversation.
Yeah.
I really want to quickly get to Mark in Los Angeles, California. Mark, we only have a couple of minutes here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess the reason I called was to talk about the Fulton County District Attorney, this Fani Willis, this evil thing.
Atlanta.
That's trying to get Trump. She's now saying everybody that's criticizing her are doing it because it's racially motivated. See how they hide behind the race card when they're called out for their evil. And as far as that snake from Phoenix, you know what would be the perfect punishment for him? And believe me, he deserves punishment. It would be to make him a white man for one day and throw him in the L.A. County Jail. And let's see if it's still 1.05% after they give him an attitude adjustment. You know, because that's what would happen. Just look at with your own eyes, Hake. Look who's doing these looting of these jewelry stores across the country.
Yeah.
It's not MAGA people. You know, 50% of the violent crime is committed by blacks, and they're 13% of the population. So that blows away any phony lying stat from the snake from Phoenix. Also, you can't trust the FBI.
Right.
We saw what they did to Trump. We know they're dishonest. Christopher Wray is a snake. So any stat that would come from them has to be taken with a grain of salt. Or talk to any beat cop in any big city and ask him if it's only 1.05%.
Yeah, I mean, he's selective about his stats. I looked at the, after I saw the Color of Crime report from Jared Taylor of American Renaissance, I didn't believe it necessarily, although I didn't perceive him to be at all interested in saying over-exaggerating anything. So I looked into it myself on the Bureau of Justice Statistics, the DOJ website, and I compared the number of crimes or whatever it was, or the percentage, with the percentage of the population, and the raw numbers of the population, and it's like blacks are like, in terms of theft, it's like 8 times or 11 times as frequently that they're stealing. Right. The rapes, there's so many more times. I forget what the numbers are. It's been so long. Because it's not that important, honestly.
Right.
I just wanted to know for myself if Ameren was telling the truth, and they are.
Yeah, I mean,
but the black on white crime, the black on all those things that the so-called white supremacists cite is, for the most part, it's true.
Of course it's true.
Yeah.
And if like I say, you talk to any policeman, and even if they're black cops, and you talk to any of them that are in any of our major cities, and just mention the stat. Is it true that only less than 2% of black people are criminals? They'll laugh in your face because everybody knows what's going on.
Right.
But you get these swine who, you know, like the clown that called in earlier, and he's trying to tell you, don't believe your lying eyes.
Right.
Who burned our cities down in the 1960s? I was alive, and I saw who did it. Who burned our cities down after their hero, George Floyd, was brought to justice? It wasn't white supremacists. So this whole thing, they're trying to pull a fast one on white America.
Yeah.
And it's, unfortunately, in many cases, it's working. Don't forget, DAs like Fani Willis and Peekaboo James up in New York, they're motivated by race. They're motivated to make sure they put as few blacks in jail as should be, and they want to focus on men like Trump. Fani Willis spent $600,000 with her boyfriend, which the money was supposed to use to prosecute our great president, to go, hobbobbing around the world. That's what happens. It's the
That's that culture too.
reconstruction.
That's part of that culture is just enjoy the hookup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Reconstruction number 2. We're entering into, first Reconstruction after the Civil War. We saw what happened there. Now we're headed into a second Reconstruction where black people who aren't qualified to run a district attorney's office in this case are put there not because they're qualified, but because they're black. And they're going to do everything they can to fudge the numbers and, go out to prosecute whites as much as they can. That's what we're up against, folks.
Thank you, Mark in Los Angeles. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care. A few super chats before we go to break. Evil is still real. Donated on Rumble. They go too far on the side of right. And Hake reaches a new level of stupid, referring to when I said about women. I did not say of right. They go too far on the side. On the side. They take a side.
Overzealous.
Yeah. But thank you, evil is still real. I think he knows what I mean. I don't think it's disputable that these women. Lin Yen Shin says, Bigg Bump, you a singer, but you have such a narrow range of flux in your diaphragm? You speaking all low to hide your black scent? Everyone knows about your vowel shifting plus inability to enunciate. So speak with your chest. Speak audibly, says Lin Yen Shin.
Okay. Thanks, Lin Yen Chin.
Nice. Okay, Base America first. I'm going to come back and read yours after the break. Someone bought a coffee. Bigg Bump. What deregulation specifically were you in favor of? Hake can't name any. He's just repeating things he heard. How about you?
At the moment, I don't have anything offhand. I can, look up a few things that I have, emails that I send to myself that I can look at and tell you things. But deregulations, all this stuff should be a paragraph. Any regulation should just be one pager or something like that, and that's it. So it doesn't matter which deregulation. Just get rid of all that mess. Government's too nanny-ish and too big.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And this is something that people who work or people who have had businesses or worked in businesses, they know that.
Right.
And those people are the ones who were doing quite well under Trump.
Yeah.
When he was deregulating and that he had the economy going.
Right.
And people like someone or like Joe from Phoenix, they're not interested in the truth, or they would look into it for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Not to debunk it like they are. They're motivated just to debunk it.
Yeah.
Someone bought a coffee. Bigg Bump made the point that it was good for Huntington Beach, HB, to get rid of Black History Month, AAPI Month, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, Hispanic, etc., because of the identity stuff is divisive, and Hake agreed. To Hake and Bigg Bump, would either one of you be in favor of HB celebrating White History Month? Why or why not?
Oh, because, I'll say yes, because all the other ones are hated. These people go along with everything else, and as soon as something of that nature comes around, oh no, we hate this. This is not good. We learn so much white history. That's everything is based on that. So I would say, cool. It's a white nation. It was the whites founded this country that we live in, and it's an amazing country.
Yeah.
None other like it. It may be going to hell in a handbasket, but it's something special, honestly.
I agree, and I say we should celebrate White History Month. Huntington Beach should do it because whites are not into identity for the most part.
Right.
And the other identities are about hatred, about this mama spirit holding on to things. And the founder of White History Month, J.C. Lee Peterson, is about overcoming the false identities and bringing love into the world. Love white people, not hate them.
Right.
So, yes, White History Month is about love. All the rest is about hatred and division from America.
Yeah. That reaction, that nasty reaction towards.
Yeah. So White History Month is not about white identity, because identity stuff is not real. Nice. And even the whites who are into the identity thing, those guys treat everybody pretty well. I know some of them.
Right. Same here. Yeah.
And they'll treat you, they're more trustworthy than all the other identity people.
Right. Yeah.
So now take that. All this fear mongering about Nazis. I don't know if I know any, but what a mess. Okay. One more, I think. Oh, no. Okay. There are more super chats to get to, but we're coming to the top of the hour. I brought in Fear.
Nice.
Face Everything and Rise. By Bigg Bump. We will get back to more great stories. Let's try to get to the stories, Bigg Bump.
Okay.
And then we have super chats to get to and your calls, guys. That's my fault. I went to like 3 calls.
All good.
But enjoy Fear, F-E-A-R, Face Everything and Rise by B-I-G-G, double G at the end. Bigg Bump. And we'll be right back for hour 2. Hang tight.
How easy it is for the few to control the many. Because the many, you know, we laugh at sheep because sheep just follow the one in front. Oh, stupid sheep. We humans have out-sheeped the sheep because at least the sheep need a sheepdog to keep them in line.
You see the writing on the walls, try to focus. Just cause the odds are against you, you're not hopeless. Over time, wounds heals the prognosis. Open your mind up, that's the diagnosis. Separate the truth from the bogus. All the destruction in the world is atrocious. They wag the dog, hoping we don't notice. Divide and conquer hopes to control us. We're all under attack, whether we're white or black, yellow or brown. It's time to stand your ground. Pound for pound, the system can't hold us down. You see these 2 middle fingers, how I'm feeling now. Can you blame me? Locked up like a cage beast, domesticate and tame me. You want a slave that ain't me? Break the shackles, just wanna be free. You want a slave, but that ain't me.
What if we all rise up, if we all stand up, if we say we've had enough? It's time we all call bluff. You're 1%, there's more of us, revolution on the cusp. What if we all rise up? What if we all stand up? What if we say we've had enough? This revolution on the cusp.
There's a warrant for your mind, and the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time. Tyranny and blackface is sublime, and every time you open up your mouth, it's a lie. A marionette for the global bankers, and even Jesus Christ with the money changes. So they ask me, what's with all the anger? And I reply, can't you see they want to enslave us? Time to fight the powers that be, and time to rise up, unite and take to the streets. Putting fluoride in the water to make us sheep, and GMOs in our food to make us obsolete. One nation under constant medication, constant surveillance, constant vaccination. Predatory mind, scientific equations put a stop to this global domination.
What if we all rise up, if we all stand up, if we say we've had enough? It's time we all call bluff. You're 1%, there's more of us, revolution on the cusp. What if we all rise up? What if we all stand up? What if we say we've had enough? This revolution on the cusp.
And those that cry to appease are hanged by those they try to please. Bow to your master and fall to your knees. I'll fight to the death, make the streets bleed. Domesticate me like a caged beast. You want a slave, but that ain't me.
In this
no
nice
ball and chains, I just wanna be free. You want a slave, but that ain't me.
Humans keep each other in line, and they do it by ridiculing or condemning anyone who commits the crime, because that's what it's become, of being different.
The crime of being different. Thank you, Bigg Bump, B-I-G-G-B-U-M-P, for the excellent Hake music. Nice. When did you make that song?
I had to record it in like 2013. Matter of fact, October of 2013. There's something happened where I was able to do a few songs on that day, and so I kind of remember when I did it. I don't remember the specific date, but I do remember October 2013.
That's when I started working for Bond as a JC's producer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the people who you are and how to find you, Bigg Bump.
Yes, I am Bigg Bump. You can find me basically any social media platform. Twitter is BIGG_BUMP. I'm there throughout the day, every day, except maybe the weekends. I do try to get away. Instagram, same thing, BIGG_BUMP. Catch me Bigg Bump on YouTube. I am just a family man. Just do what I'm supposed to do. I see. How would I say it? I've recognized things in my life that have made me a different person than what I was when I was younger. So I follow God in everything I do. And also just I'm on at the end of Jesse Lee Peterson's show. I'm on the stand-up remix with Joel Friday and Trevor Wesley, the first one that raps on it. Yeah, that's just things I do.
Nice.
You know.
Bigg Bump.
Yeah, right on. I don't know. You know what? I never know how to say who I am or what I do. You know, things like that. It's weird to say things like that. And so I'm glad you asked me that, though.
Yeah. You can find the Bigg Bump stand-up remix on which Bigg Bump appears, on jesseleepeterson.com/remixes. I think those links there still work on that webpage with Joel Friday and Trevor. Nice. Let's dive right into this other topic that you brought up, the Dodgers, I think.
Okay. The Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, the
contract
California
issue.
taxation money grubbing people versus the Japanese Dodgers king. You're a sports guy, so you know baseball.
Yeah, I do.
Ohtani contract is the headline from Eyewitness News, ABC 7, Channel 7 over here. State controller calls for congressional intervention on the Dodger star's tax deferrals. What?
Yeah.
So they say that he could get, what does this thing say? He could get an unfair advantage or something like that. Shohei Ohtani's contract with the Dodgers could possibly give him an unfair tax break, according to the California state controller. That's so ridiculous to me because taxes in general are kind of unfair.
Yeah.
And so if you can catch a break, that's not unfair. That's good.
Right.
More people should catch a break.
Yeah. And that's the thing where if it's in the law, the tax laws to do something, you know, whatever it is, take advantage of it.
Right.
You know,
Trump did that.
Trump did it. Yeah. I've come across the tax lawyers that I've seen. They say the same thing. You know, you put in, you know, you do what the law says, and if it allows you to go outside and breathe fresh air, if that's a tax deduction, take it. You know, don't whatever it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not using your taxes for anything good.
Right. Right. Clearly.
What is the story with this guy? Can you refresh my memory? So say his name and how much he's making and what the deferrals thing is, if you know.
Shohei Ohtani. He's Japanese, formerly of the, I don't want to say Los Angeles Angels. They're in Orange County. They're in Anaheim. But so his contract ended this past baseball season. At the end of the season, he was able to be traded or not traded, to sign as a free agent to any team. The deal with the Dodgers was 10 years, $700 million, making him the highest paid baseball player.
Okay. So that's $70 million per year.
$70 million per year.
$700 million over 10 years.
Per year. So it's a crazy number.
Yeah. And that makes him the highest paid pro athlete ever?
Actually, highest paid athlete. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's a soccer player that would probably be the next best. But that's...
Is Messi paid pretty well?
Yeah, for sure.
I would think so.
And also...
Because he brings the numbers.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, people are paying so much for tickets.
Yeah.
This guy named Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi, right.
Argentine, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
Talented soccer player, wherever he's from. And he came to somewhere in America. And the tickets went from such and such per ticket to go watch the game inside the stadium to like 10 or 50 times that much.
Right. And I've already heard that about the Dodger tickets.
Yeah. It's not based on how much you win, ladies. The WNBA or the women's soccer. Right. Oh, we win more than anybody else. But nobody watches you.
Right, at all. There's nobody coming.
So you don't get equal pay.
Right.
Because you're not bringing in that value.
Yeah, they definitely don't bring in those numbers.
Yeah.
These players, these.
So why is this guy paid so much? Is he really that?
He's really that good, and he plays both ways. He plays pitcher as well as he's a great pitcher and a great batter. He can hit also.
Nice. Normally you can't do both.
Right, yeah. They always use this generational player. He's like one of those that you'll never see pretty much again. The last one of this caliber was probably Babe Ruth.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. And he's
Babe Ruth was that good?
Yeah.
Was he a pitcher too?
He was both. He did the same thing.
So he was a pitcher and a hitter?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is baseball. I feel like my mind has been so corrupted by how corrupt people are. So I'm like thinking, I'm thinking this sounds wrong to say that. This is a side note. I'm taking it off track, but the culture has gotten to where you can't hardly say any single word without it coming off as dirty.
Oh, gotcha. I know what you're about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
I'm shaking my head, but it's my mind that Satan in my mind.
Right. Yeah.
So Babe Ruth, no man since Babe Ruth has done what Babe Ruth did until this man.
Not at this level. Not at this high level. There have been here and there. There have been a few people here and there.
And Babe Ruth was showy, right? Because he would point to where he would hit.
Yeah, I don't know how often that happened.
Okay.
But that one.
But that's kind of like iconic.
That's one.
And
of the
so
most
I think of him as showy, entertaining.
Yeah.
A la Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, these talkers.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if Babe Ruth was like that
way either. Yeah. Side note on Babe Ruth. Some of these blacks think that Babe Ruth was mixed or he had. That's just a side note. I came across that one day. Like, what are you guys talking about?
That's funny. Was Babe Ruth fat or fit or both?
I think earlier in his career he was relatively fit, but he did seem to be a little stockier.
Right.
After
because when you're flying high, being a talented player and winning much success off of it, and you don't really see a whole lot of diminishing in your performance compared to the rest of the world, you might do more degenerate things that get you fat.
Right. Gotcha.
So I could understand that those guys smoking and drinking or whatever.
Yeah.
Eating and because baseball is not that demanding athletically.
It's really not.
In general.
Those
certain
are athletes,
things, yes.
but I know. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So you can, unlike Joel Friday, he has to eat very well. Otherwise, he feels it in his stomach when he's trying to dance. Or I would feel it in my stomach when I was trying to run cross country.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So, pardon my tangent. Lin Yan Chin would criticize my tangent writing. Let's go back to this story. So is he flashy? Is he just amazing or just?
It seems to be like a cool, calm, collective type guy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say humble. He's like real. He seems like gets along well with everyone. Jokes around. Like everything that I've seen
Yeah.
is just cool. Just I want to say a good dude, just a decent guy.
Do you think that's managed, or that's just he knows how to present himself?
I think it's cultural. I think because he's Japanese,
yeah.
that
A lot of those
that's what it is.
Asians.
Yeah.
I don't know many Japanese, but I know Asians in general. I've known a few. They know how to act in public.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He seems very humble. Like,
Yeah.
It's just from what I can see that whether he's playing a role or not, that's just how it comes off.
Right. What is he, 28 or something like that?
29 maybe. I think
Okay.
29. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I take it. That's how I see.
Yeah.
What I see from him. I joked with Hassan about this, that this guy doesn't have any, from what I can tell, no kids. He's not married.
Okay.
But he has a dog, and he's all over Instagram with his dog. And
Oh,
I
that's
said,
funny.
I text Hassan. I was like, I guess having a dog is, is something about it. You know?
Right.
Maybe he's on to something. Hassan has something to offer with Mr. Sandman. But
it's true. The dog is the key to the bag.
Showtime.
Secure
His
the
name is
bag.
Showtime. SHO.
Time.
Time. But there was another baseball player named Showtime.
Well, they
I think.
called the Lakers Showtime.
Oh, another player named
The team
SHO.
era. Oh, no. The team era.
Oh, okay.
When they were winning in the 80s.
Yeah.
They called that Showtime.
Oh, okay.
During the Lakers. So.
And that was SHOW.
SHOW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wikipedia. I'm taking us way off track. I remember seeing Showtime disambiguation. Let's see. Sho Nakata, born in 1989, Japanese baseball player, also nickname of Shohei Ohtani, born 1994, Japanese baseball player. So who is Sho Nakata?
Is that his whole name? Sho Nakata? Or
Sho Nakata.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know either.
I don't know. Did they call it? Was it?
He's a Japanese player. He's a Japanese player, and he has not crossed over into the States.
Oh, okay. Then that's why. That's why I'm not familiar with that.
And his nickname is SHO, new word, capital T, time. And whereas Shohei Ohtani is all one word, only capital S, SHOTIME.
Okay.
So.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
I needed to clear that up.
Yeah, I see.
All right. Let's keep it moving. This is terrible. Okay. The Army. We got to get to the Army and the whites. Speaking of the whites, what's going up with the Army and the military in general, I think, and the whites?
It's. Hold on. Let me go to this. What did I put here?
I have a screenshot of the headline, too.
I
think I have a screenshot. Army decline whites.
Yeah. Army sees sharp decline in white recruits.
And that's from military.com.
Yeah.
January 10th, 2024.
I want to say specifically that whites are noticing what's happening to the country. And although there are the ones that, whatever I can do to assist in helping my country, I want to do it. But
yeah,
I see it as, the whites they're being attacked, and they just don't want to do that anymore. They don't want to be, granted who the president is. I believe that that's going to cause a decline also, because they are, especially that, like that real American, that they just don't want to be involved in the destruction.
Yeah.
And they just they don't want to be involved. That's just the best way I can put it. As simple as possible.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, and that's where I see that decline really.
I noticed that I read in this article that the younger people, somebody made the claim that the younger people don't care. That's enough, Hassan. Thank you, man. The younger people don't really care about this. And it's the older people who are used to encourage them who now discourage them, maybe.
Yeah.
Like the pastors, the teachers, coaches, parents.
I do it as well.
You encourage them not to?
I encourage them not to.
Yeah.
Right now, at this point, no.
Yeah.
There's no way possible that I would encourage someone, hey, you should do this. A few years ago, I would say, yeah, this is a okay time. But now, I wouldn't. That's not that it's a death wish, but it's problematic. It can be problematic.
Yeah. Really? So you wouldn't even encourage them to go in and get that bag, which is get the money, get the benefits, maybe go into a branch like the Air Force that's not likely to see death and maiming, loss of life and limb.
Not right now. I wouldn't
Even
suggest
still.
it right now. For some people, it makes sense. If you're going down that road of destruction anyway, maybe taking advantage of this.
So if you're like one of those bad kids,
yeah,
and you're in crime,
yeah,
going to the military,
you can
go into the military if you want.
Yeah.
If you're already, your life is at risk on the streets.
Right. You can benefit from this. It's a possibility that you could benefit from joining.
Yeah.
But if you can do other things, I wouldn't suggest it.
Some of them don't want to get the vax.
I know some younger guys.
Yeah,
right now.
I don't blame them because it's your body. You shouldn't be forced to get that thing. I mean, everybody around you is supposed to be healthy anyway.
Yeah.
Except for these generals, a lot of them are fat.
Yeah.
Fat politicians.
Goes to show this Lloyd Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just,
pancreatic cancer.
Yeah. And you're right. And that's the point. That's another point. The vax thing, the administration that's in right now, they're pushing that on those guys.
Yeah.
And that's going to turn them away.
Right. Yeah. There are definite risks to going in among the liberals in that liberal world.
Yeah.
Because they're not just going to leave you alone unless you're very cunning as a serpent.
Right.
And innocent as a dove.
Right.
Which you can be.
Yeah.
Some people might be able to do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. And I'd say the numbers, where I read a total of 44,000 new Army recruits were categorized by the service as white in 2018. And then that number fell to 25,000 in 2023 alone. And it says a 6% dip from 22 to 23.
Wow.
With that. And that was the biggest drop from 22 to 23. And it says no other demographic group has seen such a precipitous, I don't know what that word is, decline.
Precipitous, maybe?
Precipitous, yeah, right. Decline through though there have been ups and downs from year to year. Yeah.
And it outpaces nationwide demographic shifts because white kids are already a minority.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Probably under age 21 now, at least.
Mm-hmm.
The whites, because I remember several years ago it was like every kid under 15, the white kids among their peers, they're a minority.
Right. And that's why JLP says you need to have more white babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. The country is being destroyed like every sense of way. You know what I mean? Like
on so many fronts.
Yeah. So many fronts, so many levels.
Yeah.
And it's continuous.
Right.
It's like how they go after Trump. It continues. One thing. Oh, we have something else. We have something else.
And all of it is like a joke.
Yeah.
But the people buy the bad joke because the people are corrupt.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they get that high off of having someone else. If it's not them, as long as it's someone else that is being destroyed.
Yeah.
So be it. It's not me.
A smaller army is taking on a larger mission and training workload than during the peak of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, leading to soldiers being away from home now more than ever. Huh. Yeah. I mean, they're getting rid of all the independent thinkers. It's not just whites.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want the vax,
Right.
or they don't go along with this SJW stuff,
Yeah.
this diversity stuff.
Right.
Because blacks who have any sense, they don't like this, and they're
Right.
hated. They get hated too.
Yeah.
Hispanics, a whole lot of Hispanics see through that, and Asians, and wow.
Yeah.
The collapse of men in this article that talks about the collapse of men in the labor market. Recruiting
right.
numbers reviewed by military.com point to a stable gender divide for incoming soldiers. 83% male in 2018 versus 82% in 2023. The disproportionate number of men donning the uniform means that a disruption to men seeking work in the U.S. can have a major impact on the military services. Men have been in trouble in the workforce for 2 generations. The greatest risk of being labor dropout is being native-born, meaning white or black. That's what native-born means, right? Or American Hispanic. Low education, unmarried guy, says Nicholas Eberstadt, economist who studies demographics at American Enterprise Institute. I know them. Kind of rhinos, but sometimes they have really good information.
Okay.
AEI. Like with any other big historic change, it's kind of hard to attribute to a single magic bullet. Crazy.
Yeah. 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 It's a. What? How did you read that? The men seeking work, where also for what's going on now, that those jobs that are, there's, what is it? How am I trying to say it? That now I lost my thought. How I was gonna say it, but anyway, go ahead. I can't remember what I was gonna say.
There are parallels, this article says, with civilian college enrollments. Between 2010 and 2021, white undergraduate and graduate college enrollment rates fell from 43% to 38%, per the most recent federal data. The dip coinciding with fewer men enrolling, male enrollment decreasing from 38% to 33%. Wow, over the same period of time. Do they mean 33% of the applicants are men? Of enrollees are men? So it's like 66% women? Or do they mean 33% of all men?
That's how I see.
Are in the... Maybe they mean 33% of all men are going into... I don't know. Higher education fears partisan attacks from the right wing, they say, lawmakers and partisan media. Critiques of higher education system being potent ways to gin up the Republican base. Men now account for 40% of undergraduate students. Okay. Wow, so it's 60-40 after seeing a steady decline since the 70s. And college is more useless than ever, so these women are wasting their lives, too, in college.
Right.
What a
Pointless.
mess.
Yeah. Yeah, that part is definitely pointless for them to do that. It's just it's white men, but it's men in general. It's like typical for right now of this being the case.
Right.
So it's just emasculation of the men.
Yep.
And just it just how things are right now.
People getting spoiled.
Yeah.
And also they're hamstrung so that their money's hardly worth anything. So there's no, it's both harder to buy a home, I hear,
right,
than ever, especially in California.
Especially, yeah.
But probably everywhere. Your money's hardly worth anything now, more than ever. And then you have these attacks on men. Crazy.
Yeah. Right.
And it's funny because this military.com article by this guy, Steve Beynon, Beynon,
Beynon, yeah.
He's kind of trying to be fair about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Says some Army official pointed to partisan attacks from conservative lawmakers and media. Sounds like these officials, even the military is liberal, leans liberal.
Yeah.
The Defense Department supported with their donations Hillary Clinton over Trump.
Right.
Did you know that?
Right.
Almost all, I think every single branch vastly donated to Hillary over Trump.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this
that.
report.
I think I saw that also just recently, actually. I saw
Okay.
something about that.
I saw that on Bill Lockwood's show, and then I showed it on my show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like 90%, 80%, 95%
Right.
for the liberals.
Yeah.
For basically keeping their jobs, I guess.
Yeah. That's always a point to be made.
Yeah. So the government is corrupt because it just wants to keep itself going.
Mm-hmm. That, you know, that's
they want to
where-
keep their jobs where they stay paid no matter how bad of a job they
right.
do.
Yeah, and it happens. You know, they get incentivized for it when something does happen. They get the promotion or things like that. And and people don't want to. These politicians, they don't want to break anything up. Really, they don't. They can say, yeah, let's break this up or let's change some things, but they don't really want to do it because they want to keep that facade of of what's been going on. And that's again with Trump. He came in like what they say, a bull in a china shop. Yeah, like messing things up, and certain individuals, they just don't want that.
Right.
They want it to be status quo.
Yeah.
To continue. They just want that over and over. They know they're going to get the pay raise. Like the government, they just got a 5.2% raise.
Wow.
In certain, if not overall, but in certain sectors. But I think it was overall. I think that's what it was. But allegedly they didn't get a raise for the past year and a half or something like that.
Right.
Maybe 2 years. So, yeah, that. But yeah, you're right about it. It's it's almost like all these bureaucracies, they all tend to lean liberal. They are all liberal.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
They're all totally opposite of America.
Yeah.
Really, they are.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and, people see through that. These guys see through that.
Yeah.
They don't want to be involved with that.
This guy writes, in most cases, the attacks from the conservative groups on the military, a partisan cudgel against the Biden administration for being, quote unquote, woke, preoccupied with liberal values and abandoned warfighting priorities. Attacks have zeroed in on services of being more inclusive for women. Did you hear I don't know if you heard my Hake news report, but a woman who's like a lieutenant or something in the Air Force is Miss America?
I missed your Hake report.
Yeah, okay. 22-year-old second lieutenant of the U.S. Air Force is crowned as the new Miss America over the weekend.
Oh, I definitely
From
didn't hear
CNN.
about that.
That's a CNN report.
No way.
Crazy, huh?
That is. What? I had no idea about that.
I'm like, what? Yeah, they're inclusive of women.
Wow.
That's not fitting.
Right.
Service members from racial minority groups and LGBTQ plus troops. That's sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
The young applicants don't care about this stuff, but older people in their life who have a lot of influence, parents, coaches, pastors, there's a level of prestige in parts of the conservative America with that service is degraded. Yeah, it has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. Terrible. Decline of the whites, decline of the men.
Yeah.
Decline of the country.
Yeah, all the above. You're right. But the drop on Earth has baffled them. It's easy to explain by any. I think you just mentioned that. So yeah, it's just so much that it's so much that that it's just like the push from every angle. I just said that the push from every angle is like attack.
Yeah,
I keep seeing that, and some people don't see it, but it's there. It's in your face. It's an attack, an all-out attack.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. you
Yep.
know?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But do not lose heart, people.
Right on. Right on.
Let's get to this Gambino thing. I want to try to get to all of your topics, man.
Oh.
We have the lines are full, but Gambino family ex-underboss on Donald Trump being legit. You sent this to me from IG.
Yeah.
And I have the clip, actually. But explain this.
So I just came across it, and I guess it's something that it was an interview. A DJ Vlad, he interviews a lot of urban rap, things like that, different individuals. And this interview was July of 22. So it was like at the top of it, you'll see flashback.
Okay.
And it says, Sammy the Bull, ex-underboss, it says that that Trump was a legitimate guy, and something in that range. Let me see.
And he was a criminal. This Sammy the Bull guy.
Yeah, he was a criminal for sure.
This is clip 11. Do you see it in there? Let's check it out.
You try to press up on Trump, but you could never get to him.
Yeah.
Because he had ex-FBI agents all around him?
All the time. And I tried a couple of times to press him and make arrangements where I could work with him and earn with him. I did that with other big contractors. I had the power of the unions. I could do all kinds of little things, but I couldn't get to him. He wouldn't bite. He just wouldn't bite. He didn't want to do anything like that. And there was layers of people in the middle. One of my guys said, we'll go up to the office. I said, we'll go up to the office. Everybody around him is an ex-FBI agent. We'll go up to the office, we'll get cuffed, and we'll go right to prison. So forget about Trump. He's a legitimate guy. He don't want to do it. Forget about Trump.
Yeah.
Wow. Was that DJ Vlad's voice?
Yeah, that's DJ
in the background.
Vlad in the background.
I never knowingly heard DJ Vlad before. He's like a Russian or something, right? Who knows hip hop?
I don't know what
really
is he is. I don't know. He reminds me of someone in particular that I know, but he has like a low haircut, real cleaned up beard. I think he wears glasses all the time. And
Russian Jew?
Is he? Yeah. Okay.
Russian
okay.
Jewish.
I thought he was Jewish for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Russian Jew. Okay. And I never knew that Vlad was actually his name. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just hear his interviews from time to time that, so
that's quite interesting. So
yeah.
how is he walking around admitting to like crimes?
Well, this is,
has he done his time?
Time.
Because he's old now.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. I think he was maybe almost 80 maybe right now. I think. Maybe late 70s. But
he ratted?
Yeah, I was gonna say on Gotti, he would turn state. Against his boss.
Okay. Do people respect him or disrespect him for being a rat? I mean, do they mind?
I don't know.
Because people don't like rats.
They don't like. Typically, they don't.
But he
like
doesn't
rats.
seem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear the name Sammy the Bull. That sounds like a respectable name.
Right. He was very respected. From what I know, he was very respected. I'm pretty sure there's a division.
Right. Yeah.
Why he wanted to do that, I get it. But there's always that street code,
right?
That mafia code or whatnot. But with that, I see it as him doing what he did as far as approaching Trump, that it was like, and him leaving him alone is like the order where you see, I'm being corrupt, but I know that if I can't corrupt this person, I'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
That there is some type of order.
For sure.
Then I don't know if that would be right nowadays, but whatever that was, 70s, 80s, whenever he tried to approach him, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that when boys were boys and men were men.
Yeah.
You would do that. You would, hey, you're doing your job by going to him and saying, hey, you want this? I got a deal for you. Can't refuse. And then the guy saying, no, I'm cool. I don't want to do that. I'll leave you alone. I'm
Yeah.
good. So, yeah, that just shows the times, how
Yeah.
times have changed also. But
For sure.
But this shows, again, everyone may not get it or they may not understand, but it's showing that the guy's legit.
Right.
You know, he didn't want to do the wrong thing. He did what he did, you know, what he was doing. He made the deals he made. And there's no way around it. You people that hate him, they just hate him. It doesn't matter for what reason. They hate him.
Right.
They just want to hate him. And but clearly he's a stand-up type guy.
You'll notice that the woman who's prosecuting him, that black female attorney general of New York, Letitia James, she's accusing him of something totally unrelated, just off the beaten path. Oh, artificially inflating the value of your property way down in Florida.
Right.
She didn't accuse him of like working with the mob.
Right.
Or anything like that.
Right.
Because he didn't, apparently.
Right. Exactly.
Or else everybody else was doing it and she was too, and
Right.
she can't.
And that's another thing. It shows. I was just talking to Joel before your show, and it just shows you how who do you not know that is, you know, actually being paid off, or, you know, has the mob after behind him, or whoever was backed by whatever, then and now.
Right.
You don't know
Exactly.
but that shows that happens. You know, that
Yeah.
happens. It happens now. It happened in the past.
True.
And, you know, but when you get someone come out and say, "Hey, this person," there's no doubt he was legit. We just left him alone. We couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I've heard callers call in and accuse him just speculating. Oh, you worked with the mob. You can't do business in New York
Right.
and not work the mob.
Yeah, that sounds.
That's not
good.
true.
Right. It sounds good. I get it.
You're just
but
making
that's
an
not true.
assumption.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And the same thing, same people will say, "Oh, I'm a New Yorker. We New Yorkers don't like Trump."
Right.
Well, look at who you do like. Maybe this part is partly why, because he's not corrupt and you are.
Right. Yeah.
He's not a off the deep end liberal, because they're electing some of the worst liberals that you want to see.
Yeah.
An avowed socialist that Wilhelm, I forget what his name was. The former mayor married a black lesbian.
Right. Yeah. What is his name? What is it? De Blasio?
Yeah, Bill de Blasio.
Wilhelm, whatever his last name was.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they elected this Eric Adams guy who's not turning out to be up to the job, seemingly.
Right.
To deal with the crime and all that stuff, even though he was a former cop.
Right. Yeah. That was just. I don't know how he's even in office like that. I don't believe that.
Tucker was kind of pumping him up.
What did he?
He did a little bit.
Okay.
I saw a specific segment where he's talking about how bad Bill de Blasio did, and here's this former cop who's running, and hey, maybe he could do something.
Right. Yeah. I just couldn't.
It was very early on.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if he might have recanted or something.
Because when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I like as far as, because he's been around for a while, and I know that the work they do is it Silwa, the Guardian Angels?
Oh.
I think that if it's not Guardian Angels, whatever it is, they wear red all the time. They used to go around the city and like police around the city.
Okay.
Much. Yeah, that the head of that, because I figured he was more in tune with the people in the city.
Is he wear a red hat too?
Yeah, the red,
like a red beret
Yeah,
thing?
the beret one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's not really taken seriously, huh?
Not really. I think
at least not in the mainstream media.
Not in the mainstream media. I think the neighborhoods probably respect him, but I think he's still maybe looked down upon kind of by the criminal communities.
Right.
Even though to me it seems all urban area, but it's still, I don't think they appreciate what he's done.
Right.
Having a black face, perfect. It made sense.
Yeah.
For them to do that, but He's screwed up just like the rest of them, just like Wilhelm, just like de Blasio.
Yeah.
He's not Giuliani at all.
Yeah. Giuliani really cleaned up that area.
And at one point, I didn't like Giuliani.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was some. It was just,
I wasn't necessarily a fan of him either.
Yeah.
I thought of him as kind of a liberal.
Yeah.
But
especially during the 9/11, the thing, that piece that changed a lot of things in my life to make me, that it just didn't.
He was a globo homo type of a guy?
Yeah. That I seen it that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he may have been that whole time, maybe, but I see it different. Over the years, I can see the things that he was doing.
Yeah.
For the city, it made sense. But I was just looking at it through the 9/11.
Right. Because you were that's when you became an Alex Jones guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a Ron Paul guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And now Giuliani is a Trump guy.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's turned on Trump even despite all the attacks on him.
Yeah. No, it seems he's still with him, like right
That's
with
cool.
him. Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah. I do too.
We have 10 minutes to end.
You do.
Let's do this one. I want to get to this topic that you brought up. Special needs motherhood Instagram post. Clip 12. Introduce this clip and then call for it if you see that there, Hassan. I think it's there.
Yeah. So this is
another Instagram.
Yeah, another Instagram
reel.
There's like gems in Instagram too.
Yeah, true.
Where there's the handle is special needs motherhood, special needs motherhood, and she has 7 children. She's married. She has 7 kids. 2 have Down syndrome, and 1 has been diagnosed with autism, and they have sent and he's the oldest of the kids. He's the oldest son. He's maybe like 13 or 14 now, and they've sent him to a state facility because he's aggressive and they can't handle him. Allegedly, they can't handle him.
Reminds me of that kid black tall boy who physically attacked the teacher.
Yeah.
And put her in he might have put her in a coma. I don't know.
Maybe.
But he had a problem, and his adoptive mother, I think she was white.
She was white, yeah.
Had to give him up to the state or something like that.
Yeah, it's similar to that. Yeah.
Okay.
But this guy, this young man, he's not. He doesn't go to school at all.
He's that far gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah.
Okay. So, this autism thing, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Autism is when people are really socially off, and in some cases they're just outright retarded, right? Like their mind is, they'll just shout out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's no reasoning with them.
Yeah.
It's hard to communicate with them sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
Some of them are more high functioning.
Right. Yeah. and that's where it's so random that you can almost say everyone is autistic,
Yeah.
So
because one of the things of it is they hyper focus on something. Everybody does that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
When they're in that messed up state.
No one's no different. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and it's just how they treat him. Also, you can see the father's look in his eyes, the mother how she's playing it up, and the son, he's just like he's there. Like he was diagnosed this way, and they took it and ran with it.
Okay. And so they're like enabling the illness, the disease, whatever this thing is.
Yeah. It's almost like he's done. There's no way.
Wow.
No way he can. I mean, there is a way.
Yeah.
But they're not going to help him.
Yeah.
With it.
They're enabling that. They're enabling that so-called disability.
Yeah.
It's become a disability, literally.
Yeah.
Rather than working to help him become able.
Yeah.
Or leaving him so that he can become more able.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a sense.
So, and he's just gone, and it's just what their focus is not.
It's part of the identity.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. Like if you challenge that, or if you say they could get better, they'll puff up and be like, no, he can't.
Yeah. And last night I just happened to go back on the lady's Instagram, and there was some new report, new update, new live that she had, where I was going to wait to say it, but she even, sending him off to a state facility. Now she wants to start up her own group home. She can't.
Wow.
She can't handle her own son.
Yeah.
But and she or he, the husband or wife, can't handle their own son, but they want to start a group home. And
For the autistic?
For special needs kids,
right,
or whatever.
Okay.
I'm like, it's the same as, a father leaving, and
right,
being a stepfather. The same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, what? You want to do what? And
meanwhile, are there siblings at home?
Yeah.
Who are just normal?
There's 6 there. Of the 6 that are still at home, 2 of them have Down syndrome.
Whoa.
So clearly there's something wrong with one of the mother or the father, or father or mother. There's something, in their anatomy wise, biological wise.
Those are blood kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that they that this keeps happening, but it's like they just have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
They're just doing things. I guess they were into some ministry or whatnot, so
boy.
got this, got that, and
I reversed the music because I thought it might be copyrighted. So I made the music go backwards on this.
Oh yeah, that was all some praise and worship
emotional
type
music on
stuff like that.
I didn't listen closely to it, but I heard music. I just made sure that it was music the whole time, no talking, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And do you want to play it? Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Here's clip 12, Hassan, from Special Needs Motherhood Instagram. We committed our son to a state facility when he was 12 years old. Relatively young father. Son looks a little off. We were devastated. I didn't read part of it. We held off the decision for a long time, hoping and praying he would get better. But his aggressive behavior due to his autism only got worse as he aged. Aggressive behavior due to autism? The separation's been painful. We've seen God work on our behalf in ways we've never seen before. Look at the young man. Our son's been cared for well at the state school and made tremendous progress. We don't want him to be away. We know God is at work, even at a state school. He looks kind of like a punk. Where does God have you that you don't want to be? He asks. Oh, okay, so he's trying to get cagey. There's the father. Oh, there's the mother, kissing his face all hard forever. Remember, God works for our good everywhere and all things to those who love him. Man. That's her Instagram?
Yes.
This Special Needs Motherhood, that's her Instagram.
That was her.
Don't harass her, guys. Unless you're Brandon M. Wow.
Yeah. And the way that whole is just, I just saw it and I'm like, man, and to keep, it's God's way of doing this, God.
Yeah, blame it. That's what you sent to me.
Yeah.
Your weak father and psychotic mother will kill you.
It will kill you.
Triple exclamation mark. And use God as a scapegoat, SMH.
Yeah. That's all they're doing.
Bill the Butcher says, wow, I hear satanic messages in this music. My fault. Just mute the track. Jesus. Okay, I should have muted it. Maybe the track was kind of loud, too. I brought it down to 3%. But, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Even what the setup that you described, you could kind of see that in those.
Yeah.
They're just momming the boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all they're doing. That's what they're doing to him. She's on her Instagram. You can see, like, every night, which like they'll FaceTime each other, and she's just on FaceTime with them.
Yeah.
She saw State of Texas on his pillow one day and started to cry and things like
right.
Come on.
Where is she from?
Somewhere in the Houston area.
Okay, and then he's somewhere else in Texas.
Yeah. I think they'd have to go 2 hours away, drive 2 hours away to go see him.
Okay.
And they only see him twice a month. One time they say every week, but it's 200 miles away.
He was 13 in that? Was he 13 or so?
One says 12, one says 13, but
okay.
That was November, I think.
Yeah.
Of 23, so I think she also said he's 14 now. So I can't really tell birthday, how old he is exactly or specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've.
So in her mind, she's helping helping by being an example, but really she's not being a good example.
Not at all. She would just have him home and take care of him. There were no signs of him being aggressive.
Right.
Or some type of behavior. He was just there. Like he was just there.
Yeah.
But
I could see, like, I feel like I've seen that before where autistic people just freak out and go crazy.
Out of the blue. Right.
And there's no reasoning with them. They're just freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
But those are kids.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you just enable that or if you don't put up with it,
mm-hmm.
you let them have their fit on the side.
Right. Yeah.
And then you don't reward that.
Right.
Or enable it.
Yeah. And I think they have enough of life as far as home that he can do things. I've seen chickens in there or roosters or whatever in their backyard. They have a nice sized land, nice sized home that it could work.
Yeah.
They can make it work, but they don't see it that way. They're possessed again.
Yeah.
Of thinking or saying it's God showing them a way of doing things when it's not God at all. It's just being possessed and not knowing how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
oh my gosh, we are late. We got to end.
Oh,
I forgot. Joel Friday is coming up, guys. I got to end. Thank you, Bigg Bump.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great show.
Right on.
I forgot. Okay. David in Ocala, Florida. William in California. Tony and the rest of the callers. Can't get to you. I got to end. Shall we just play some Mary Rice Hopkins? Running for the prize. Adios. Sorry, Joel. My bag. Joel Friday TV coming up next. Bye, guys. And we'll see you next time, Bigg Bump. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
It's
I appreciate it. Always.
Bye.